Seaside Bonds, Lobster Bay, Book 5. Written by Meredith Summers. Narrated by Hollis Mccarthy. Chapter 1. Liz Weston sat on the deck of Tides and looked out over the sugar sand beach at the glistening ocean waves. She was glad she'd decided to splurge on accommodations at the old inn located in her hometown of Lobster Bay, Maine. The rooms were cozy, the service impeccable, and the view gorgeous. The crashing of the waves, the tang of the salty sea air, and the gulls darting above created a peaceful atmosphere. She wrapped her sweater around her to ward off the slight Maine chill. Summer had passed. Now it was early fall, which, in her opinion, was the best time to be at the beach, since it wasn't crowded with tourists. But she wasn't back in her hometown to visit the beach. She was here to clean out her old family home. For most people, a visit to their hometown would be a fun trip. But not to Liz. Her childhood memories weren't exactly pleasant. She'd volunteered to do this job because she was always the one who did the dirty work in her family, always the one everyone else depended on. But that wasn't the only reason. The inn was a distraction from her own problems, not to mention a nice place to stay, something she currently didn't have. I never get tired of this view. Jane Miller, proprietor of Tide, stood beside her holding a coffee pot. The proprietor's golden retriever, Cooper, waited obediently at her side. Jane gestured towards Liz's empty mug, and Liz slid it over for a top-off. Liz was a few years younger than Jane, so they hadn't known each other well in school. Of course, all the families in a town as small as Lobster Bay knew one another, and Liz knew Jane's family had owned the inn for generations. It must be wonderful, living right here on the beach. Liz's childhood home was several blocks from the beach. No ocean view or sound of waves, but she could walk to the beach in 20 minutes. That had been her escape when her father started yelling. She glanced up at Jane, who was gazing blissfully out at the ocean. Liz was 45, and she guessed Jane must be almost 50. She looked younger, though. Jane was tall and thin, and her silver hair looked sassy in a trendy short haircut, while her blue eyes sparkled with life. She looked happy, at peace, a woman comfortable in her own skin.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?